Let's talk about the Auburn Tigers and the Freeze Four.
There goes Davis. Oh my God! Davis is going running all the way back. Auburn's going to win the football game.
Hello and welcome to this episode of War Eagle Weekly. How we doing, Josh?
Doing pretty good, man. Got off a long shift at work. I'm ready to do this freaking podcast.
Let's do it. We are going to be changing up our recording time so that way we can talk about the game and get it uploaded as soon as possible. So we're doing this podcast morning of Monday, September 2nd. But we want to first thank our listeners, thank our followers, thank our subscribers. Thank you for watching, because we do this podcast because we would be having these conversations anyway. We're just sharing it with everybody else, but it is nice to know that you guys are out there watching. But Josh,
Yes.
Let's jump right in. Let's try to keep a level head. Let's try not to, get too big. Let's try to remember this is Alabama A&M. But
I don't even care,
holy
man.
Shit.
It don't matter to me. 70-point win is fun. I don't care who the opponent is. That was fun to watch.
It was like playing NCAA 25. It was fantastic, man.
It was a lot of fun, man. We got to see Jarquez hurdle over a helpless defender. We got to see him go in for a long touchdown. We got to see the friggin' Freeze Four in action.
Yeah, no, we got to see every bit of it, and we got the scoring started with Jarquez, first carry of the game. Right up the middle. And you know what? Funny enough, you actually predicted that on the season on X, and actually went ahead and shared that during the game, just to remind everybody that you actually did call that was going to be the touchdown that started the whole thing. And boy, did it start the whole thing, because after that, we stopped him on defense, and then 20 seconds later, Keandre Lambert-Smith is strolling in for another touchdown, looking absolutely beautiful on that.
It was a gorgeous route. It was a gorgeous football. I mean, Peyton Thorne literally threw that ball perfectly, exactly where it needed to be in stride. The craziest stat to me is in the first half. Do you know what Auburn's average time of possession was in the first half?
I actually don't know. I know it was very short, but
very short. 43 seconds was our average time of possession in the first half. 43 seconds.
And not because we were punting the ball.
No, it's because we were scoring the daggone ball. The friggin' time of possession stat line is absolutely insane. Let me see if I can find it real quick.
Well, while you're doing that, I have been critical of Peyton Thorne quite a bit this offseason and going back into last season, I have been. And, again, I keep telling myself it is Texas A&M. Or, no, I'm sorry, not Texas A&M. It is Alabama A&M. I need to be restrained on my excitement and, level of polish that he showed in this game, because it is just it's the worst competition we're going to see all year. Let's just be honest. But he looks good. He made the right reads on most of the things. There was one play where he looked like he was trying to run it in himself for a touchdown, and should have handed the ball off. I can't remember who was in the backfield, but should have handed it off, and instead kept it, went to the right, and got stopped there by the defensive end, who actually stood there instead of crashing in on our read option. But still, Peyton Thorne looked amazing. What was that stat line, Josh?
Alabama A&M had the ball for a whopping 36 minutes to Auburn's 13 minutes. 36 minutes and 34 seconds to Auburn's 13 minutes and 26 seconds. That is an insane stat line. It doesn't matter who you're playing. That's crazy. Usually whenever one team is dominating the time of possession like that, your team is losing.
Yeah. And the thing is in years past, we're talking about the fact that the Auburn defense gave up points late in the game. In years past with a stat line like that, we're talking about, just the defense getting worn out and getting tired. But again, Alabama and A&M. I get that. I get it. And you know what? I'm not going to say it the rest of the the podcast because everybody knows that it was Alabama A&M. But in years past, we have played down to the competition too much. We have rested on our first half laurels on defense. We have said, oh, we're up by 50 points. We're up by 30 points. Who cares if they go ahead and score a little bit? And you didn't see that from the defense on Saturday, and absolutely positively love it.
Yeah, it's absolutely wonderful. Again, I don't care if it was Alabama A&M. The game was fun to watch. It's been a very long time since Auburn's put 70 points on the friggin' scoreboard, and it was a long time coming, and we didn't beat anybody by that kind of margin at all last year, not even close. And in those games, the smaller teams definitely scored a lot more. And so all around, all across the board, Auburn looks better.
Yeah, no, it definitely was. And man, it was so nice to see offense, in the game. And
Yes.
it was great to see these wide receivers that we have had so much hype for. I'm talking, I don't remember the last time a player received as much hype as Cam Coleman has, but the dude freaking came through. The dude nailed it.
He doesn't look like a freshman at all.
No, we're showing on his screen his first touchdown, and it was absolutely positively beautiful. The route was amazing. Yes, it's lesser competition, but man, that dude bit on the route because of what Cam Coleman did leading up to the breakdown and was able to get him off of his spot and to get going. And, hey, again, we were talking up Peyton Thorne. He freaking eyeballed him. So in bigger competition, this may not fly because he was just eyeballing Cam Coleman constantly. And the defensive back had his eyes in the backfield. And so it was a recipe for disaster for Alabama and A&M from the beginning. The defensive back was watching Peyton Thorne, so Peyton Thorne was locked in on Cam Coleman, and he also saw that Cam Coleman was breaking down his route, and so that's why he bit so hard. That's why it was such a hard bite. But this could happen in an SEC game. This is something that could totally happen, and not only that, but you had other options on this play that probably would have worked as well. You
got Robert Lewis cutting there behind the safety. That was a touchdown. Yep. Watch. Yep. He it's just, I mean, again, that didn't look like a freshman at all.
No,
he looked like he was coming back for a curl route, and the DB was cheating, and Cam Coleman took advantage of it. He was asked about that touchdown after the game, and he was saying that he looked at Coach Nix and he looked at Peyton Thorne and said, "It's go time." They called his number, and he delivered. Now, the ball definitely could have been thrown a little better. I thought that was one of Peyton Thorne's worst thrown balls of the game. A little underthrown is an understatement. That was severely underthrown. Luckily, the DB forgot to lace his shoes up. But either way, that was a great first touchdown in college.
Yeah, and it was absolutely beautiful. Positively one of my favorite things that I saw on Saturday. And then it started with Cam getting the first touchdown from the freeze four, but it wasn't the last time we saw one of our vaunted freshman wide receivers actually make a name for himself in this game. Malcolm Simmons, man, he's
a dude,
a monster. First off, I was surprised that they gave him the ball first. He got the first touch on offense this year, which
when you're open, you're open.
It surprised me that he got the start at the slot position, but you could definitely tell that Hugh Freeze either is still gun shy about his running backs getting hurt in something that doesn't matter, or wanted to come out here and make a statement and tell everybody, hey, we can throw the ball this year.
Well, I mean, we all know what Auburn can do running the ball. Yeah. That's never been a question. Everyone's question was whether or not Auburn can pass the ball, even if it is against a team like Alabama A&M. And in terms of Malcolm Simmons getting the start over Robert Lewis in the slot, apparently a big part of it has to do with Robert Lewis battling. I believe they said is an abdominal abdominal strain.
Okay. All
So
right.
that's why he possibly didn't get the full start over Malcolm Simmons. Either way, the slot position is solid. We got
Yeah.
two guys for 100% sure that can play the position, get open, and get in the end zone.
And the third guy in Sam Jackson, who also caught a touchdown later in the game from
that
Hank
was
Brown,
I was going to bring that up because that's also one of my. I wasn't too happy with the throw from Hank Brown.
Okay, well, here, real quick, he did sit down with Zach Blackerby on Sunday, and I saw a snippet of the interview, and Zach Blackerby talked to him about that. The defensive lineman jumped off, and so it was a free play, and so he knew where he was going.
Sense.
And so that's why he just threw it up because, yeah, I wasn't a big fan of it either. And I don't remember there being a penalty, but probably because I was jumping up and down with everybody else. And so I wasn't paying attention. I didn't remember that there was a penalty there, but he did talk about how he jumped off.
That makes
so
a lot of sense.
He had a free play and he was like, I'm going that way to Kane. And
then that makes the catch even more impressive because Sam Jackson jumped to the shoulder pads of the two defenders and caught the damn ball and still put his feet in the end zone. That was a crazy catch, and the fact that it was a free play makes it even more impressive.
Yep. But getting back to the freeze four and Malcolm Simmons and what he did off of the blocked punt, the ball is in the air forever. But hey, guess what?
How long did that ball stay in the air? Oh my gosh.
4 seconds. ESPN actually timed it. It was up in the air for 4 seconds.
Smokes.
And hey, he did a pretty decent job of like kind of going to where he thought it would be. So hey, maybe his ball tracking skills, he didn't see it up there, but he kind of had an inkling. He's like, okay, I know it's coming over this way somewhere. And he was in a really, really good position. And in years past, the Auburn's luck just does not roll that way. And so
shades of Ricardo Lewis, I guess.
I guess, man. And so this kid is just ready for the limelight. He is ready. And that wasn't his only touchdown. He caught another touchdown later on from, I believe it was Hank Brown as well.
Yeah, Hank Brown.
On a nice deep crossing route and just ran away from everybody. And it was – yeah, Bryce Kane didn't have too much, if I remember. He also fumbled there late in the game, which
that was not a catch. There's no way anyone can convince me that was a catch and fumble.
Dude. It was a catch. No. He brought it in. It was a little on the close side, and I think in a tighter game they would have reviewed it, and we would have been able to really get a good look at it, and it would have gotten an official review. But I personally thought it was a catch and a fumble, but it's still a little frustrating. Hold on to the ball, young man. Do a little bit better.
None of us from scoring 80 points. That and the fact that the game was 10 minutes shorter than it should have been.
Yeah, but hey, I'm okay with a mercy rule. I really am. I mean, it was getting a little out of control. It wasn't even, fun for Alabama. They were able to do anything
for them.
I mean, but let's talk about the defense a little bit. Let's talk about some of the defensive pressure we were able to get on him. On the Alabama A&M quarterbacks was just absolutely, positively ridiculous, dude.
I mean, I wish we had a few more sacks. We only got 3 sacks. We got plenty of quarterback hurries. We weren't able to really get there. Keldrick Falk had a sack. The guy I liked the most on defense, besides Kayan Lee, which that was not a defensive passing interference that was called on him. That was a perfectly played ball. But my favorite player to watch this past Saturday was Malik Blockton, the true freshman at defensive tackle. Seeing a big boy wear number 47 and play at the defensive tackle, nose tackle position, that was just a lot of fun. He was disrupting everything. Nobody could get a handle on him, and he was just wreaking havoc all night.
Yeah, no, I agree. Malik Blockton had a fantastic night. He was from the jump, was just being a disruptor. I had notes that, I was going to keep in case it got close, but I ended up holding on to notes before the end of the first quarter because it was just like, okay, well, I don't need to break down the game too much. But in that red zone, it was him sitting there preventing the touchdown after the long pass, the one that got tipped
Should have been intercepted
by Horn and should have been intercepted, but put them in perfect scoring position. I was like, here we go. This is it. And the defense, man, the defense held up. They did not. They did not want to give up any points, and you can tell that they really wanted to hold it. But let's see here. We've already exhausted our, what we can talk about. I mean, we could keep on talking about.
I was gonna say, man, I've been watching highlights all weekend. I don't even care who the team is. It was just fun. A lot of fun.
Yep, it was great to see the success that we had against Alabama A&M and hope that it's going to be continued. So, on that shocking bombshell of a result, 73-3, Josh, War damn Eagle